Hello, Wisecrack Nation and YouTube community. This is your boy Nary here, coming to you, ready to put a shock to your system with Black Lightning. We made it all the way to Season 2, Episode 16, the season finale titled The Book of the Apocalypse, Chapter 2, The Omega. We left off last episode with Tobias on the run and Jennifer hot on his heels, getting ready to explode. And now we're on the way to see if there's anyone that can save or help her before then. But enough of hearing me ramble, let's get right into the action. Well, it seems that Gamby has come to Jennifer's rescue as he's the first on the scene to find her. But before being able to do anything for her, Lala shoots at Gamby, questioning if he's with Tobias or not. And after seeing the situation, Lala decides to go on after Gamby tells him that he's not with Tobias. But unfortunately for Jennifer, she's still on critical condition, ready to explode, and Gamby now has to try to stop her. Luckily, the gloves that Gamby converted to help assist him in stopping Jennifer lasted a few moments before he passed out due to the power that she was outputting. But the bad part is, it still overpowered Gamby to where he passed out and Jennifer was able to regain herself. At this point, I hate having to say I told you so, but Jennifer is too much of a hothead, and you know what? I told you so. Something told me this girl was gonna screw up, and she did. Well, it seemed that luck was on the side of our heroes after Jefferson arrived and was able to tell that Gamby still had a pulse but suffered from radiation poisoning due to Jennifer. And with Anissa showing up, her and Jen have been ordered to take Gamby back to the sanctum and give him a shot in order to help him feel better. This time, Jennifer better stay her butt at the sanctum instead of being stupid and going all over Friedland like a freaking rogue. Well, it seems that Tobias and Cutter have arrived at one of Tobias's hideouts, and Tobias is still upset due to the fact that Black Lightning is interfering in his business with the metas that he has. And what makes things even worse is that the cops that shot the Kate meta in last episode have not been charged. So Tobias sees this as a solution to help him stop Black Lightning, as he knows it's gonna rile up the community of Friedland. So he decides to send Cold Snap to shut down the city's electrical grid, knowing that it probably helps Black Lightning with his powers. Well, it seems the good is outweighing the bad. The bad being that Gamby's still suffering from slight radiation poisoning, and the good being that Jefferson has found green light babies in Tobias's old hideout. But what may be problematic is Agent Odell is still keeping a close eye on Lynn. Jefferson was about to have his head taken off if it wasn't for Lynn swooping in out of nowhere to beat the crap out of Dr. Jace for trying to shoot him in the head, in which case the cat fight of the century started. Man, I can't believe how badass Lynn is with a right and a left. And what makes things better is Dr. Jace finally gave up some valuable information to Black Lightning, which may help him stop the murderous metahumans that are on the loose in Friedland. And just as Tobias has planned, the power to Friedland has been cut. Now, unfortunately for Jefferson, he has no way of knowing what's what and where's where, as he flies over above Friedland. Well, it seems that we have Gamby back in action after we see he's up and able to move around the sanctum. At which point he talks to Jefferson over the comm links and tells him to come back in because he's running low on energy. And at this point, I guess it's superhero code 101 on Black Lightning to be stupid as Jefferson cuts off his link to go back to Tobias's hideout to get the green light kids. And now Anissa wants to go to the streets to help the people of Freeland get under control. And on top of that, now Gamby has authorized himself to go to the power outage and try to fix the problem so Jeff could get his powers back. The only thing I consider a downside is that he's going to take Jennifer with him because she's such a brat and doesn't want to listen. Bad news for Dr. Jace. Even though she's locked up in Freeland PD, the metahuman bounty hunter, aka Instant, is after her for the Markovians. Even though she offers to double his bounty, he decides to stick with the Markovians and turn Dr. Jace in. Well, it seems that is going to be metahuman fight night as we see Heatstroke and New Wave versus Black Lightning and Thunder. This fight scene proves amazing as we see 4 metahuman combatants go at it. We see Black Lightning versus Heatstroke, in which Jefferson was taking it to Heatstroke, and Thunder is beating down New Wave like she tried to steal her weave. But unfortunately for both Black Lightning and Thunder, Marcus and Cold Snap, the other 2 metas that form the Masters of Disaster, have shown up, and now it's a 4-on-2 situation. And almost on the verge of death, Jefferson almost met his maker if it wasn't for, of all people, Lala to come out of nowhere, guns blazing, taking down Heatwave, and informing Black Lightning that he was going to kill Tobias himself, and letting him know that Freeland needs him as its superhero. And right as Jefferson tries to go and save Anissa, he's frozen in place by Cold Snap, while Anissa's kept trapped in a water bubble by a New Wave. Where there is darkness, there is light, as Gamby and Jennifer head to the power generator to go ahead and restore power. Jennifer proves useful in melting the ice that was frozen over by Cold Snap, in which Instant helps return the powers to Jefferson that he needs after being frozen over. And after powering up, Jefferson puts a shock to the Masters of Disaster, and Anissa gives them a thunderclap to bring all 4 of them down. It seems that Black Lightning and Thunder are the new dynamic duo. Move over, Batman and Robin. Affirmative action has taken place. Yes, the black superheroes are now in charge. Well, it seems that Tobias is finally losing his nerve as he blames Black Lightning for everything. At which point, he wants to release more metahumans to attack the city. And even though Cutter tries to tell him not to, he decides it's best to attack her. But unfortunately for him, Cutter knows how to defend herself. At which point, she tells Tobias that she's leaving him. Not because he's abusive, but because he's a nut job like I've said so the past 100 times. And after leaving, Tobias activates the green light kids, in which they're released from their pods while Agent Odell and Lynn are on the scene. Luckily, none of the ASA agents gun them down or shoot them before anything happens. Both Jefferson and Anissa return to Tobias's lair to see that the pod kids are out of their pods, and find Lynn walking around alone, and Agent Odell and his men have disappeared. At that point, Lynn sends Gamby a GPS coordinate of where the suitcase is that'll lead them to Tobias. It's at that point that Jennifer decides that she's gonna go after Tobias once again, which proves my point. This girl is either mildly retarded, no offense to anyone who has that disability, but the girl is stupid. And she flies out of Gamby's truck. She literally flies out of his truck. The daughter of Black Lightning is now flying. Great, just great. All we need now, hormones with energy. Well, it seems after all the chaos in Freeland, Tobias is still unaffected by anything. But things become more problematic as Lala confronts him with a gun and says he's ready to kill him. At which point, Tobias uses two of the verbal commands that he implanted in Lala after brainwashing him. And since that didn't work, there's luckily a backup plan as Jennifer goes flying through Tobias's window to introduce herself as Lightning. Now here's my thing about being a superhero. If you just have a mask covering your eyes and people can still see your face, how can they not identify who you are? Luckily, before Jennifer could do anything stupid, Jefferson flies in through Tobias's window and tries to stop her by using his powers to control hers, but was unable to do so. Fortunately, Jennifer realized that it was hurting her father, so she stopped before doing anything that was too problematic and that she couldn't come back from. As Jefferson realized the words of his father, proving that killing Tobias wouldn't solve anything, it helped him realize that he was doing the right thing in trying to keep his daughter from becoming a cold-blooded murderer. But what I find very rare and special is that the fact that Tobias tried to shoot both Jefferson and Jennifer and got an electric pounding for it. Afterwards, Jefferson gave the beating of his life to Tobias like it was a match of Street Fighter. Well, it seems that after defeating Tobias, Jefferson, Anissa, and Detective Henderson began their recovery of Freeland in order to take back control and get everything situated. But what no one knew was Agent Odell of the ASA still has some secrets that he hasn't told, like the fact that he still has 3 kids in pods: Issa, Wendy, and Khalil. So seeing that he has them, he has some power on his side, and knowing that he wants to use them probably for some form of military advancement, we can only wait to see what he'll do with them next. For the people of Freeland, they're free of Tobias, hopefully once and for all, as he's condemned to a black site that no one knows about, codenamed the Pit. Well, it seems that the family has their happy ending as they all celebrate in the kitchen of their house, but things turn to the worst when Agent Odell appears out of nowhere and tells them that the Markovians now have Dr. Jace and that they have the largest stockpile of metahumans around, and that ground zero for the Markovian war is Freeland. And this proves problematic because now Jefferson, Anissa, and Jennifer have been called upon to serve to defend Freeland in a time of crisis. Well, Wisecrack Nation, as you can see, that's the end of Season 2 for Black Lightning, as is right now. We have so many questions unanswered. What about Grace Choi? What about the fact that Agent Odell has 3 metas that he has yet to reveal to the Jeffersons? There's only so many questions you can ask until Season 3 starts. But for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of Freeland before the war starts, because it seems like next season is going to be something big. As for right now, I just want to say thank you for sticking around for this long for my review, and then I hope that you enjoyed it. And do me a favor, drop a like, comment, share, or subscribe to the channel for more. And check out some of my friends on the 450 Legion channel, which I'll have in the description and the link below. I'll be back soon with more reactions. But for right now, do me a favor, stay wise, crack hard, and we'll keep this channel going just for you guys out there in the YouTube community. Peace, people.